Hello beautiful hopes, it's me Anjali Sharma. In this tutorial I'm going to show you how to paint watercolor portrait of Sadhu. Here I am using basically watercolor paper and Camel Artist watercolor cake, 18 shades which are really nice and different sizes of brushes. So in this portrait I'll be using wet on wet technique. Which is, I would like to explain you what is wet and wet technique so that it will be easier for you to understand and do the same by yourself in this portrait. So, wet on wet technique is wet the surface of the paper just using clean water, and then you go over the top and drop in all the colors that you have already prepared. For the skin color, what you have to do is select the skin tone that you would like the most or which is very relatable to a reference image which you are using. So if you have choose the color, then use the lightest tone for the base color. In this, what I mean is in the tone that you have selected, add a lots of water so that it will work as a base color for your skin and also for the other areas. In this tutorial, I have used a base color for my skin, for the braid and for the forehead and the tilak. So for the skin, I have used a burnt umber and raw umber. Mixing this both, I have selected my and a little bit of other colors too. I have selected my skin tone and grey color, a base grey color for my braid, and for forehead I have used lemon yellow, and for tilak I have used scarlet. So I am applying this using a very big round brush. In this, while doing watercolor or a portrait, you have to have as many brushes as you can, but different sizes, what I mean is, and for the turban I will be using yellow or light orange base color. I would like to give you the name of it. Orange, yes, I'm using orange color for this turban. So whenever you are using watercolor, what you have to do is you have to work in layers. You always have to keep in mind that while using watercolor, you have to work in layers. As the first layer gets completely dried out, then only you are going to use another layer over it. And if you are not doing this, and if you are applying the other color before the first layer gets dried up, then your color will start bleeding and you won't get that value that you are searching for your paper. And you must use a watercolor paper for this purpose. And if you are not using a watercolor paper and you are using normal other papers, then what happens is your water gets completely absorbed by that paper and you won't get that value or strokes, or you can say the contrast that you are searching for. While you do paint the skin and their shadows, don't forget to use wet on wet technique. For making shadows, you just have to concentrate your color a little bit more darker than before. You just have to make it more darker, and if you want it to be a little bit darker, you can also mix some ultramarine blue if you'd like to. And for the eyes, what I'm doing here is applying black color to it and leaving some of the highlighted area in red eyes. Before painting black, I have already used a base color which is a dark grey color earlier, and now I have applied black color to it. Now moving towards the braid portion, what we have to do is, while doing the braid portion, we apply the base color first, which I did as applying grey as my base color and letting it dry up completely. We can begin to add some darker color, which I am doing a more darker grey color out here, and the texture of the braid, and keeping in mind the form so that we get darker with these strokes. Don't cover up the entire base. While doing these strokes, don't cover up the entire base color. Allow some of them to shine through paintings and think about the painting in the direction in which the hair is growing. You must keep in mind the direction in which the hair is growing. Moving forward, you can also apply some darker colors to the background. For that also I am using Wittenry technique, and the base color I will be using a darker color later. And for his clothes also I am doing the same. Lightest color first, let that color dry down. After that a darker color, a darker scarlet, a more concentrated one. While I was working in the turban, what I already did was a darker color, darker orange color I have used as the border, and to give it a little bit of shadows so that it could look more realistic. Putting shadows and giving it some more details. When we start giving more details to our painting, to our portrait, things become more beautiful. And while working with the watercolors, what we have to be is very patient. Patience is the key to the painting or the portrait that you are making. So if you don't like to wait, then I can give you some tips on that. If you don't want to wait for the first layer to dry and then wait for so long and wait for what you can do is use a hair dryer. It makes things a lot easier. You can use the hair dryer to dry the first layer, and then you can apply the second layer over it. If you don't have time and if you are not that patient, then you can do that. That's the tip from my side. Giving some more structures to the turban, I'm making it look more beautiful. Actually, I like the pattern that it had in the reference image. You do not need to make the exact same thing as in the reference image. You can use your own creativity, your own desires, and your own styles in watercolor, because art is not defined in only one way. You can use your own way, and For the details in the turban, what I'm doing is using more darker color than it already has. More darker color than the earlier layer. Here I have used orange color, and after that I have used a bit more concentrated orange color for its detailing. So once again, in the braid portion, build it just a little bit more firm, and a couple of times to build up enough value. You just have to do this a couple of times, especially in the braid portion. You have to use different sizes of brushes, and more darker colors, sometimes more lighter colors, and you have to wait for the first layer to dry up. But if you will patiently do this and follow whatever I am saying to you, then you are gonna see that your painting looks And the tip that I would like to give you while using this wet and wet technique is mix up all the colors first. First mix each and every color that you would like to apply in the portrait or your painting in a palette, and then only wet your paper and use it. Before you paint the color over your portrait, use a scrap piece of paper and try, and if you are satisfied by that color, then only use it in your painting. Wet and wet technique to paint the portrait or the skin, especially because the skin is really smooth, and in the skin, to avoid the harsh watercolor edges and to ensure that the skin looks really smooth, I recommend using wet and wet technique. You can use as many layers as you want until and unless you are satisfied by what you are doing. You can leave some highlighted areas on some portions. You can add some more details if you would like to with smaller brushes, as you can see that I'm doing so in the braid portion, and add a darker shade in the background of the portrait, and you can give some final touch to your image. some areas in which you would like to work on shadows, some area in which you would like to work on the wrinkles of the faces. If you give more value to your painting, if you will give the more time you will give, the more good it looks. And please don't think that I've done this in one day. It takes time. It takes time for you to do all this, to learn things, learn new things if you are new at it. And shadows are really very important in paintings, watercolor paintings especially. And by this, I would like to thank you so much for watching my video. And if you are new to this channel, please do subscribe. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. And for all the supporters that I have, for all the support that you have given, I'm very, very grateful for you all.